Hello and welcome to our series called In Those Days at This Time, where we will focus on events that took place in Jewish history on the dates of this week. And I hope that the items that we choose, the events that we choose, will be insightful as well as meaningful. So we're going to focus on today on the next 4 days on the Jewish calendar, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and 15th of Sivan, which is Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, and Sunday in this year. So we're going to start with Thursday, the 12th of Sivan. The 12th of Sivan is a special day which has practical and halachic significance. And that is that the 12th of Sivan is referred to as Siyum Yemei HaTashlumin, which literally translates as the last day of payment. What payment are we talking about? So the background is as follows. You see, during temple times, it was a mitzvah, an obligation for every Jew to travel, to journey to Jerusalem 3 times a year and to visit the temple. The 3 times a year were the 3 holidays of pilgrimage, the holiday of Pesach, Passover, the holiday of Shavuos, and the holiday of Sukkot. Now, during each one of these times, in addition to coming to Jerusalem, it was a mitzvah and an obligation for every Jew to also bring special offerings, animal sacrifices to Hashem in the temple. The Oila Suriya and Shalmei Chagiga, that's what they're called. Now, although the obligation is to bring it on the Yom Tif, on the day of Pesach, first day of Passover, Shavuos, or Sukkot, nevertheless, each one of these holidays has a period of 7 days within which a person could pay that debt, meaning to bring that sacrifice. Now, being that this past Friday was Shavuos, so Friday was the first of those 7 days, and Thursday, the 12th of Sivan, is the 7th day and the final day of payment. Now, this has halachic significance because during this time, from obviously Shavuos itself, but also the days after, we do not say Tachanun during the morning service, during the Mincha service. We do not read Tachanun. Now, what is Tachanun? Tachanun is a portion of the davening in which we read supplication for forgiveness for our past misdeeds. And during special days, Shabbos and Yom Tif, or any special day, even in the middle of the week, we omit those parts of the davening because on special days, we don't focus on personal misdeeds. And being that these 7 days are special days, Shavuos itself, but then going all the way through the 7 days until the 12th of Sivan, therefore, during those days, Tachanun is omitted and not said during the davening. Now, I want to add that there is a custom among some people, particularly Ashkenazic communities, that actually add another day. And they go till the 13th of Sivan. And that is because, you see, we're counting 7 days starting from the first day of Shavuos, which was Friday. But if you put into account that we have 2 days Shavuos, which this year was Friday and Shabbos, the 6th and 7th day of Sivan, so then the first day would start on Shabbos and would continue through Friday this year, the 13th of Sivan. But the Chabad custom is actually that it goes through the 12th day of Sivan. Now, the 12th of Sivan has also a practical lesson for us, which is that in Jewish law, there's, in English there's an expression, the bottom line, but in Jewish law, the bottom line of a document, the bottom line of a contract is the most important line of the document. And that's because things at the end is where you see their potency, is where you see their importance, and really where you see the objective of the entire document and of the entire matter, whatever we're talking about. So when it comes to the 7 days of making up for Shavuos, the last and final day is the most important. Is really where we have sort of the bottom line of Shavuos, where we are given the opportunity to make up payment, debt, using the words that we used before, for the work of Shavuos, which means, practically speaking, that the 12th of Sivan is an opportune time for us to strengthen our commitment to the Torah, which was given on Shavuos, strengthen our commitment to the study of Torah, and to the observance of Torah. So the end of the 7 days of Tashlumin, of payment from Shavuos, is a special time for us to contemplate in our own life where are we holding with regards to the message of Shavuos before we go further into the year. An interesting, deeper meaning to the day of the 12th of Sivan is as follows. I mentioned earlier that Shavuos is not the only time where there are 7 days that you could make up, and that a Jew would be able to make up and bring the sacrifice, the offering that was required to be brought on the Yom Tov, on the holiday, but Sukkot and Pesach as well. However, there is a fundamental difference between the way it is Sukkot and Pesach versus the way it is on Shavuos, and that is that the 7 days that succeed, that follow the first day of Sukkot, and the same is true with regards to Pesach, are holidays, right? Because Pesach continues for the 7 days and Sukkot as well. Whereas in Shavuos, we see this unique theme that the 7 days of payment for Shavuos continue into weekdays, something that is not the case during Sukkot and during Pesach. And Chassidus teaches us a beautiful lesson from that, and that is that ultimately the whole theme of Shavuos is to transform the physical world and transform the weekday. Shavuos is the time when God appeared to the Jewish people on Mount Sinai, beginning the ability for this world to become holy, godliness to be drawn down into this world, and for us through doing mitzvahs to elevate and make this world holier. And that fits in very well with the fact that the days after Shavuos, where we make up for Shavuos, are weekdays. Because once again, that is the message and that is the theme of the Yom Tov, of the holiday of Shavuos. Not only that we feel the connection to Hashem during Yom Tov, during a holiday, but in fact, during an everyday, during a weekday, the impact of Shavuos is felt. Now that is the 12th of Sivan.